Benjamin, in addition to traveling around the world, telling people about the reappearance of the Christ and the Masters, you have also been telling them that they can do something about it and have a part in it, something you call transmission meditation.
That's right.
I'd like to ask you something about transmission meditation. First of all, what is it?
It's a form of meditation which is at the same time a field of service. Millions of people around the world today are coming into a closer alignment with their own souls, and this immediately makes them want to serve. And people may not know how to serve, they may not have a field, you know, they're looking simply, kind of finding some kind of way which they could be more useful to the world. If they serve, fine, but they don't always find that way. Transmission meditation is a method where you can work directly with the masters of the spiritual hierarchy under the Christ, and take a part in this great return to the world of these men.
By way of background, these are the masters as foretold by H.P. Blavatsky through the Theosophical Society and her writings. The masters in the hierarchy, you are now saying, are present in some numbers in the world, along with the Christ. Before we get too much deeper into transmission meditation in particular, I'd like to be a little broader about the subject first. A lot of people out there, I'm sure, know about meditation of various forms. For the past 20 or 30 years, there's been a big boom in meditation of all varieties in the West. What is the purpose of meditation in general, if we look at all the different forms?
The basic purpose of meditation is to allow the person, man or woman, to come into contact with and eventually at one with their own soul. Mm-hmm. And there are hundreds of meditations, as you know. There are more or less scientific ways of doing this. And as you come into contact with your soul, the immediate response of the personality is to find some form of service to the world, because the nature of the soul is to serve. That's why it comes into incarnation at all. And so as soon as you're touched by the energy of the soul, you want to serve. Meditation, therefore, is the age-old way, the royal road to this kind of alignment with the soul. Transmission meditation shifts the focus somewhat, and you move away from simple alignment with contact with your own soul to a cooperative, active alignment with the kingdom of souls, which is the spiritual hierarchy of masters.
How does it compare in practice, say, with better known forms where people use mantras, they sound an om? How does it operate? Is it comparative in any way?
Well, the masters, you see, are the custodians of all energies entering this planet, from cosmic levels, other planetary levels, from the planet itself, and they manipulate these. They send them into the world in very scientific ways so that they can bring about the evolution of humanity and the other kingdoms. There's a great plan behind the evolution of any particular planet, and all the kingdoms are part of this plan. Their evolution is overseen by a hierarchy of masters in each planet. On our planet, the masters have been esoteric, hidden away for thousands and thousands of years, and they're now beginning to come back into the everyday world. And as part of this process, groups, because we're now beginning to work as groups really for the first time, groups have been given this opportunity to work with the hierarchy in such a way that the energies, cosmic and planetary, can be stepped down, transformed, and therefore made more usable, more accessible to humanity. If these energies were simply sent into the world by the masters, for the most part they would be too high. They would bounce off the mass of people, not be absorbed and used. So transmission groups are used as kind of substations, connected to hierarchy, doing the work of hierarchy, but as a substation. The energies are transmitted through the chakras, the force centers in the spine of the individuals in the group, and they're automatically transformed and become available in that way.
We are speaking with Benjamin Creme, who is the author of Transmission, Meditation for the New Age. Let's go back just a moment in unfolding the history of this. When did transmission meditation start?
Well, transmission meditation is given to the world through my master, with whom I've been in touch for very many years, since 1959. Mm-hmm. And in 1974, he asked me to form a group in London, where I live. And he introduced there to that group the idea of transmission meditation. Mm-hmm. I was asked to give a little talk about meditation and to give them the feel of a transmission meditation, which is a specific type of meditation. You do a meditation, you use a certain chakra, the ajna chakra between the eyebrows, to focus on, and as necessary you use the mantra Om, to bring the attention back to that chakra when it wanders off, as of course inevitably it does. You don't meditate on Om, you simply use it to bring it back. And the master gave about 15 minutes transmission to the group involved and said, well, that's what it's like. Those who wish to continue can continue from now on. A group was formed in March 1974 in London and has been going ever since. We meet 3 times a week and have done all these years. And now there are hundreds of transmissions groups all over the world doing this work. It is a means of serving the planet in a very simple way. It's for lazy people, you know, who don't like to do too hard work in their service, because you're just sitting there, the masters do all the work, they send the energy through you, and they direct the energy to wherever it is needed in the world. So all you have to do is to be there, to decide to be a group. 3 people make a group, and you carry on from there. The group uses the Great Invocation, which was given by the Christ to the world in June 1945, as a means of linking with hierarchy. It sets up a conduit, and through that conduit, the energies are sent. And that's all the group does.
Meditation, I know from what you've said and what I've read elsewhere, has been around for centuries. Was there any precursor to transmission meditation or did it just spring into existence as part of this group work?
No, it is because people are now really consciously working in a group formation that transmission meditation becomes possible, because it is a group meditation. But it develops out of the triangles movement, which was already given to the world by the Tibetan master Jalkul through Alice A. Bailey. The Alice A. Bailey books are known throughout the world, and he introduced triangles, as it's called, which is a mental linking up with 2 other individuals anywhere in the world, in which these 3 individuals elect to say aloud the Great Invocation, which was given in 1945, and in such a way that the energies are then sent through that triangle formed to 3 friends in the world. And then they link that triangle up with all the triangles thus active in the world. And that's a mental exercise. Transmission meditation takes that principle, but makes it enormously more potent, because the groups are working on a larger scale. I mean, sometimes I have 500 people in a transmission group, as happened in Japan. That's unusual. But most groups are around 10, 12, 15, 20 people.